Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Game, and it's a preview of Manchester City against West Ham United live on Sky Sports on Sunday. Well, Tom, they don't come much more difficult than this, do they?
No, they don't. Straight after a shocking loss against Astra, you've thrown him back in at the deep end against Man City and Pep Guardiola. Oh, it's going to be a fantastic weekend, isn't it? No, this is a very difficult game for us to, especially after what happened in the Europa League. It's going to be a very, very interesting game on Sunday.
Tom, cheer up, because Sunday's my birthday.
All right, okay, well there you go. We've got a bit of luck going into Sunday now. I'll make sure that Bilic and everyone knows it, that they better perform for you on Sunday, mate.
Yes, Slav, deliver me my present, please. Mitch, are we going to the Premier League champions 2016-2017?
Quite possibly. Every year I do a prediction table. I put an envelope and open it at the end of the season. I think I had City top. So yeah, I fully expect them to be in at least the top three.
They've done a lot of transfers this summer, City, Mitch. Is there any players that have caught your eye? Is there anyone you're looking forward to seeing in the Premier League that they've brought in?
Well, there's no one I'm looking forward to seeing play against us. I really like Nolito. I know he's getting on a bit, but he's a bit of a late bloomer like Payet. I think he's a really good player, really underrated as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. But I prefer it if he was left on the bench against us.
Yes, please play Navas on the right wing again, Pep. That would be absolutely lovely. It's Sane I'm looking forward to seeing. I want to know if he's got what it takes to reach the highest level. He's certainly got the potential. He looks like he's got it all. But let's see. I'll tell you something. Raheem Sterling certainly looks like a much better player under Pep, doesn't he, Tom?
He does indeed. Pep has filled him with that confidence, and he just looks like a renewed Raheem Sterling. He's probably been one of the best players this season so far. He's just looked interested. Last season at times he looked devoid of all confidence, and he didn't look interested when he played the games. But no, this season I think Pep's maybe filled him, or even if he's not said anything to Raheem, I think maybe just having a manager like Pep Guardiola there, you feel the pressure of wanting to perform for someone like him, and credit where credit's due. He's been really good this season so far, and it's a shame because they've signed Sané, from Schalke for all that money, but Sterling's keeping him out of the team at the minute.
Tom, one word, two word answers. Where does Sterling play?
Right wing.
Left wing.
Left wing. Oh, sorry.
Where's our weak spot?
Right back.
Oh, lovely. This should be a good afternoon. Mitch, speaking of all the City players, who are you worried about seeing come up against us on Sunday? There's probably an obvious answer here, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
I'm pretty scared of Aguero, for no apparent reason. Especially against Collins, that's my biggest worry. Because let's be honest, Collins isn't very good at defending pace, is he? And Aguero has got plenty of that. So yeah, I'm a bit worried that Aguero's going to sort of get in behind him and just target him all game.
He's got 6 and 8 against West Ham as well, so he's not exactly got a shady record against us. So he's going to come into this. He started the season on fine form as well. Everything points to an Aguero goal at the Etihad on Sunday, unfortunately. Tom, very quickly, before we move on to West Ham, what about their goalkeeper situation, Joe Hart? What do you make of that? And particularly, you're quite patriotic. You're into your England football team as well. So what do you make of the Joe Hart situation?
Oh, do you know, I don't think it's been handled very well by City, the board, the way, and Pep probably the way he's dealt with it. I don't think really it's fair the way that they've sort of chucked Hart to one side. I don't know, maybe his distribution's not great, but I don't think that they needed to deal with it in the way that they dealt with it. I think it could be handled a lot better. And he's just pretty much just been shown the door and not really been given a chance to almost prove himself. And I mean, fair enough, you get Claudio Bravo, probably one of the better keepers, probably one of the top 10 keepers, I'd say, maybe in the world, who's older, but it's the style of distribution that Pep likes. But no, I don't think it's fair the way that they've treated Joe. He's been an outstanding servant for Man City for many a year, and he's probably got them to thank, Hart to thank for a lot of the saves and a lot of the moments, that over the years, maybe in title run seasons, he's probably saved them, and he is a fantastic keeper at the end of the day. Whether or not he made mistakes for England or wherever, but no, I just think it's very poor the way that they've dealt with the situation.
I think what they're doing there is they're going from title contenders with Joe Hart and goal to, I think they're stepping up a level to Champions League contenders by doing that transfer. I think that's just my personal opinion as well. Now, before we move on to West Ham, let's talk about the referee. Andre Mariner is the man in the middle at Etihad. He's quite a good referee. I actually quite like Andre Mariner. Last season, he was in charge when we beat Spurs 1-0, oi oi, and also when we drew 0-0 with Stoke City. So unbeaten under Andre Mariner last season. Man City, however, did pretty rubbish with him in charge. They lost 2-1 at Arsenal, they lost 4-2 at Southampton, and they lost 5-1 at Chelsea. So perhaps he doesn't like Man City. Maybe he's a Man U fan or something. But he's quite a lenient referee, doesn't hand out a lot of cards, full stop. He's happy to give a few bookings, but I'd imagine he's a bit like Craig Pawson that we had at the weekend, where he's a bit whistle-happy and stop-start in the game. Now, Mitch, line-up. Does Slav have to gamble with Lanzini and Payet and throw them in from the start?
I certainly hope so. But the thing is, we've been sort of left in the dark a bit over the whole Payet thing. Like, is he fit? Is he not fit? Why wasn't he on the bench the other night against Astra? All this sort of thing. But surely, if he hasn't got an injury or there isn't something going on behind the scenes, he surely has to start. And I'd expect to see Lanzini on the bench at least as well.
Well, it's almost 2 weeks since the Chelsea game. I thought it was only supposed to be a small knock, and there was talk he was supposed to be there for the first leg in Astra. I mean, this is now a week later, and we've still not seen him. Tom, what about yourself? Are you worried going into this one?
I am slightly worried. I spoke off camera with you guys before this, and look, we lost the game against Bournemouth, and then we won at Liverpool, and then we lost again. So, I mean, even if we lose this week, it's not the worst of starts. You would probably expect to maybe lose against a dominant Man City side. But I am nervous. I honestly, personally don't think he'll change it. I saw an interview earlier on with West Ham TV that Bilic did, and he said that he hopes that one of them will participate on Sunday. So really, it doesn't look like he's going to start. I don't think he'll gamble them to start on Sunday. So we'll probably see a similar team, maybe with Noble back in and Masuaku, that we saw this evening.
Who would you play up front, Tom, well, going into just who would you play up front? Kaleri started against Astra. Fletcher came on and looked lively. Bilic seems to like Enner Valencia.
Personally, probably not going to be Slav's decision, but personally, give it to Ashley Fletcher. My God, the difference that he made when he came on against Astra. He actually wanted it. He was hungry for it, and he was our best player in 20 minutes. So let him go. Let him play. Give him 70 minutes. See how he gets on. But like you said, Slav likes Valencia, and he might go with Kaleri. So, but I think Fletcher needs a chance, a run out to try and prove himself.
Mitch, a stat that might surprise you. West Ham has scored in the last 15 Premier League games, obviously running into last season as well, which is currently the longest run for any team in the Premier League. So no team has scored in more consecutive games right now than we have, which is 15. Does that give you a little bit of confidence going to Etihad, Mitch, or are you just completely void of any?
To be fair, I do actually expect us to score. I think that there is holes in that City defence that we could target, especially John Stones. I'm not a huge John Stones fan, although it does look as though he could be improving under Pep already. But I expect us to score, but at the same time, I expect us to concede as well. So I'm not very confident, to be honest.
Well, a start that might alarm you if Payet doesn't start. With Payet starting in the team, we've won 48% of games. When he doesn't play, we've only won 22% of Premier League games. So we're not even winning a quarter of games without Dimitri Payet. So when people say we're a one-man team, stats suggest they could be right. Tom, would you agree that City's fullbacks are their weak spot, and this is where Antonio has to shine? He's got to start on the right wing.
Yeah, he has to start on the right wing. He can't start on the left wing on Sunday. But it depends. I honestly didn't look at the City team, who they started, if it was Zabaleta or Sanya the other night. But Zabaleta, sorry, do you know the answer?
Sanya is supposed to be injured for Sundays. He's supposed to be coming back for the Manchester derby, though.
Well, that's a good thing, because he could run rings around Zabaleta. He really doesn't look. He looks a shade of the player that he used to be when they first won the title, and I think that he could cause havoc for Zabaleta. But there's only so much Antonio can do. We can create in chances. Someone has to, get on the end of it. But I think if he can show, Zabaleta inside or outside, he's too quick for him. He could easily get round him and beat him. He just has to use his nous and his knowledge of, especially if he is on whichever side he's playing, to try and do well on Sunday. But I think, who plays over the other left back? Is it Clichy or is it Kolarov? Are they still interchanged between the two?
It's been a bit of both, because he started Kolarov at centre back one game, and obviously Clichy was left back then. But the next game he took Clichy out and put Kolarov to the left back spot.
See, I think Kolarov is brilliant over at left back. I do really like Kolarov. So hopefully he goes with Clichy. But if he goes with Kolarov, I think we might struggle, especially. I mean, if Toure is wherever Toure plays, we are going to struggle on Sunday. We really are.
Toure against Kolarov worries me, because I really like Kolarov as well. I think he's got one of the best crosses in the league, regardless of the fact he's a left back. I think his crosses are unbelievable. And if Toure is tasked with tracking him, I can't see it happening very much. But it does leave holes at City's back. Now, before I ask these two how confident they are, how much of a chance we've got of getting a win, and to give me a score prediction, make sure you subscribe to our channel here at Hammers Chat. It's currently dinner time on Friday. If you're watching this, we are live tonight at 8:30 talking about all the West Ham transfers, and we've got a live transfer show on transfer deadline day, which is going to last 5 hours. Obviously, you don't have to join us for us all, but as an alternative to Sky Sports, do tune into ourselves. Mitch, how confident are you going to the Etihad? Do you think we'll get something? And what's your score prediction?
I'm not very confident. For two reasons. I think that we've looked fairly poor in all our games this season, and I think that City are a very good team. My score prediction would be 3-1 to City.
And Tom, yourself?
I don't want to be seen as Mr. Doom and Gloom, because that's all I've been the last 2 weeks. Look, I think we're going to struggle on Sunday. There's no way beating around the bush, and I'm not going to go for an easy score prediction. The thing is with City, they're a different animal under Pep. They've got, if Aguero isn't on form, which he is, he's scored however many goals his last couple of games. You've got De Bruyne, you've got the likes of Silva, you've got Navas, you've got Nolito, you've got Sterling. You've got so many people that can create chances out of nothing, because they're world class and they are a possession team. And if they go 1-2 up, they will still play behind the ball and they will just pass it about, and they will open us up, and we will pay for it on Sunday. But I will be confident when we get that starting team back, when Payet and Lanzini and Feghouli and those real core players are back in the team. But I see us getting hammered at the weekend, and it pains me to say, but I see probably losing 4-1 to City at the weekend.
I'm going to say 2-1 City. I don't think we're going to get hammered as such, but I think it's going to be a long afternoon for West Ham fans again. When I say 2-1, I don't think it's going to be a close 2-1. I don't think there's any shame in getting beat at City, though. I don't want to say we can accept getting hammered, but as Tom said there, they're world-class players, and they've got a world-class manager. They've got probably the most sought-after manager in the world in charge right now. He's got a checkbook with no end to it. He's got a 50 million centre-back sitting there. Whether you think he's 50 million or not, it doesn't matter. That's how much he cost, and he's playing in City's defence. They've got Silva now playing centre midfield. Pep has now done what Pellegrini couldn't. Pellegrini had 2 defensive midfielders. Pep doesn't even have that anymore. He's only got 1, and he's got Silva, who sits alongside him and pulls the string. And unfortunately, we've got no one to mark David Silva, I don't think, because if we play 3 defensive mids, which we probably will, whether you call them centre mids or not, they're almost defensive mids. They're going to be occupied with De Bruyne, with Sterling cutting in, with whoever's on the right-hand side. They're not going to be able to focus on Silva, and I think he's just going to play us, actually. And I do worry how much time Silva's going to get on the ball. All it takes is Sterling to make a 5-yard run, because they've got the ability to pick him out and to spot the run. That's something we've been lacking a little bit. But like Tom says, when we've got our players fit, when we're back, West Ham will be a different animal. But right now, we're going to City as a wounded animal. And I don't think it's a dangerous thing. Sometimes when people come with their claws out, I think we almost need to be put down a little bit by the vet. But saying that, Mitch, if you got offered at the start of the season, if someone said you'll get 3 points from Chelsea, Bournemouth and City, would you have taken it?
Yeah, easily. I think that's actually what I predicted, I think, for our first 3 games. like you said, City are going to be a different animal, so don't expect to get anything from them. For me, the only realistic win of those 3 fixtures was the Bournemouth at home game.
Tom, would you have accepted 3 points?
Based on the squad that we are going into this season, no, I wouldn't have done. I still think we should have held out for a draw at Chelsea. You know what? If everyone was fit, because we weren't going to be taking the injuries into consideration. When I first saw the schedule, I thought we could have quite easily picked up a draw against Chelsea, and we could have gone and actually fought for something at City. But the way that the cookies crumbled, and the way that things have fallen, it's probably just about right that we pick up 3 points. And look, I mean, maybe 4-1 was a bit harsh. I think I am a bit dejected after what's happened. But if we can just show a bit of now so that we can a bit of guile, a bit of something, if we can take anything from that performance of Astra this evening and the way they defended and the way they showed heart, if we can take anything from that, we can be all right at the weekend. But I do still think that we're going to be in for a long afternoon.
Well, last season we turned up at City when they had conceded a goal and we won 2-1. So we could do it again. We got put out of Europe last season, and in the following game we turned up at the Emirates and won 2-0. So it might strike again. Let us know what you think at home. You can comment below. What team do you want to see? What's your prediction? Are we too doom and gloom? Or are you expecting a bit of a tough time at the Etihad as well? Or come on to our forum at hammerschat.com and join in all the conversation. When you're looking for a stream on Sunday, there will be links on the forum as well. We've been Hammers Chat. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, and most importantly, let us know your thoughts.